Next, let us explore the tab strategies. Here, what we want to achieve is to make you think like a fund manager. And that is, I think, one of the critical aspects to be a successful investor. Because a fund manager looks at a lot of different things, and that is what I want to take you through here. So you'll come to the strategy tab and you'll create a new strategy. I've already created a test strategy, so I will just reopen it. So this is the view you will have. Here, you will have to go and select all the parameters. So let's take. So what I did was I've given a buy entry rule. You can also put a sell entry rule. So I've given a buy entry rule of saying the score, which is the relative strength score, which has weekly percentage change has to be positive. So weekly change of the score has to be greater than zero. And I'm saying the price should be breaking out from a resistance. So it's very simple criteria I've taken. You can create multiple criteria by adding the rules or making or rules and also make it more complicated as you practice. So this is one of the first aspect. How will you enter a trade? So that is defined using the rules. Then you will come to exit criteria, which is how will you exit the trade. So that has to be defined. I have selected it should as soon as the price crosses below the EMA line on weekly 21 EMA, you will exit that. So you have put entry rule, exit rule. Then you have to define what is your risk management. So risk management is what is the stop loss when you enter, you are okay with, right? So you define the 7% below my entry point is my stop loss and I will exit. You can define your take profit or keep it blank as you want. If you want to, suppose you want to trail the stop loss, you can also keep it blank. So let's make it remove it. And I have selected, so you have multiple selection, but let me show you one which is hybrid, where till the stop loss we will keep on increasing the trailing stop loss, and after that the ATR will take over as a stop loss. So you'll select all the time frames. So it's a weekly time frame. Um, if the price moves 4%, our stop loss will move by 3% till we reach our 7% stop loss, and after that it is ATR based, right? So that is defined here. The other thing in the strategy will define is in case you have a limited fund and you cannot trade say more than four stocks at a time, so you can also define it here that okay, in my strategy I want to take only four trades, and that creates a problem that how will the fifth trade, if it is identified, will be replacing the existing trade or will be considered, and that is the force replacement criteria. So whenever there is a fifth trade which comes in your strategy, it will be replaced using the quarterly rank. So this is a fundamental rank parameter which we covered in the ranking section. So this is what you'll define here. Also, you can define what is the position sizing. So here, if you say I want to trade, one trade should be around 3,000 US dollars. So it will take it from here and it will calculate the nearest number of stocks and use that as a criteria to execute your trade in strategy. So you have put your entry exit criteria with the risk management. Here you have defined your execution criteria. And the third leg is where you are defining the strategy where you want to implement. So here you can select a full market. So I want to implement in full NASDAQ or NSE or Swiss market. Or you can also define within NASDAQ, I want to select a specific sector or industry. So you can keep your focus or define a focus using these available parameters. Or you can say, okay, I want to specify a list of stocks which I'm comfortable with. So you can also define that. Or you can define a global one where all the markets will be considered as part of this strategy. But for this situation, let us only take Nasdaq, and I will do it, and I will save it. So this is how you'll create a strategy of yours. Now here, one more option I want to cover is active and inactive. So this is predominantly for front testing, and if you have made it active, then the strategy will be subjected to front testing, and you will see it in your front testing tab once it is enabled. But for now, let's consider that you've created a strategy. So if you go back, you will see your strategies here. But right now, you don't see any of the performance summary because we have not run the strategy on a historical data. So once you run it, you'll also see the performance summary. And for that, I will cover it in the next section called backtest.